so much for coming and speaking with us here.
Oh, that's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, we just had a couple of quick questions. Now, we understand the talk is going to be on the future of Europe.
Yes, right.
And obviously, there's questions of immigration. There's questions of the refugee issue, the migrant issue. We saw from CNN actually just recently the terrible story about in Libya.
Yeah.
With this human bondage issue. Just to start, what can be done in Europe, specifically, by folks there, in Western Europe and France? What can you do to stem the tide of, or to help lessen the tide of migrants coming illegally into Europe?
Well, first, I think you made a good distinction between refugees and migrants, because these are two complete separate issues we have to tackle. The first one, the issue of refugees. Europe has seen 2 years ago, let us remember, these very terrible images of flows of refugees coming from Syria, Turkey, then crossing Aegean Sea, Greece, the Balkan route, up to Germany. Hundreds of thousands, probably 1.5 million, 2 million flowing to Europe and escaping the turmoil, all the crisis in the Middle East, the war in Syria. For this kind of refugees, I think Europe has a duty of solidarity because they are political refugees. So we have to open our doors and to try to welcome them either temporarily or on a long-term basis. This is the first issue. The second issue is completely different. This is the issue of migration. And you have not mentioned the fact that many migrants are crossing the Mediterranean Sea to Italy from Libya. These are economic migrations coming mainly from Western Africa, Nigeria, other parts of Africa. These people are leaving their countries because they want to have a better future in Europe for economic reasons. This is perfectly understandable, but we can't accept all the misery of the world. This is absolutely not possible. So for this kind of population, we have to find other solutions, and the better solution is the development in their native country. So we can't accept all these people to migrate to Europe. This is not possible. This is why France has proposed a big, development program and a big political agreement between what we call countries of source and countries of destination, in order for the source countries, to keep their migrants.
Another question that I could follow up on, and I don't know how political you want to discuss or how political you want to get, but there's been a rise of the movement of nativism. Obviously, in France, with Le Pen's party, we see this with Alternative for Germany, ways that aspects of it needs to be some contention to aspects of it.
Well, you're using first an expression, nativist parties, which we don't use in Europe and in France. For example, the National Front in France, Alliance für Deutschland in Germany. These are extremist parties. These are far-right and populist parties. And so we have to name them like this. They are extremist parties. But when you have more than 20% of the voters voting for the National Front in France, qualifying Marine Le Pen for the second run of the presidential election last May, confronting Macron on the second run. When you have Alliance für Deutschland representing more than 12% at the latest general elections in Germany, when you have also the extreme right governing or making an alliance, for example, in Austria, this means there is something which happens in Europe. And my point is that we have to understand and we have to hear what the people say through their votes. What do they express? They express the rejection of Europe as it is today. They express a kind of fear, fear of unregulated Europe, fear of borders open to all winds, fear of being unsecured against migration and against terrorism. And so we have to take into account this vote and to find the proper response And I think, for our point of view, for France and for President Macron, the good answer is to the refounding of Europe, but another Europe, a protective Europe, which is a shield, not a fortress, but a shield with a Europe which is capable of protecting its citizens against this kind of populism.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. It was very enlightening.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Short and sweet and easy.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.